Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for the Q&A, so let's go ahead and get this started. Alright, first question. Hey Jason, I can't progress on the weighted chin up. Current body weight is 168. I can do 3 strict dead hang chins with 71.5 pounds attached. I usually do 4 sets in a reverse pyramid training fashion, adding 2 extra reps in each subsequent set as I drop the weight. How can I progress on this? I'd like to build up to 100 pounds for 5 reps at the same-ish body weight. How can this be done? I've added in pendlay rows for some extra back work and some strict curls, but nothing else is enabling me to add reps. My sleep is good and currently eating at maintenance. Upper body lifts are press. 160 pounds for 3, close grip bench for 116 times 3. Okay. I think what you need to step back and think about here is what is it you're trying to achieve with the chin up. And you need to look at your other upper body lifts. Your chin up is technically stronger than you're pressing right now. Okay? Technically stronger than you're pressing right now. You're basically trying to train your chin up like an early intermediate, right? Reverse pyramid training? Why? What are you going to get out of that? Building to a heavy triple, or are you trying to increase maximum strength on this? So here's what we need to think about, okay? When you say you want to reach a 5 rep max, I don't think non-novice lifters should think in terms of their 5 rep max. I don't think that we should have those sort of goals. Why? Because all-out 5 rep maxes get you hurt. I want to state that again. For more advanced lifters, doing an all-out 5 rep max is more likely to injure you. So why are we setting 5 rep max goals? There's no strength standard in the world that's ever going to judge you off of a 5 rep max. They're going to judge you off of a 1 rep max for strength, including chin up competitions. The weighted chin up is an actual competitive sport, right? It has records. They don't give a crap about your 5 rep max. So if you want to get stronger, you need to practice some actual maxes. Okay, you need to practice some maxes. You're no longer a novice or even early intermediate at this lift anymore. So if you say you want to get stronger at it, then by all means learn to get stronger at it. And once you're doing heavy work, do you really think the tension gives you strength carryover that much? From doing the reverse pyramid, adding 2 reps, doing a 5, a 7. I mean, it's not really doing what you think it is. Here's what I would say. You're at a point to where on your chin up right now, the only 2 ways that you are going to increase strength, there's only 2 pathways by which you can increase strength on your chin up. Learning to strain and find your groove on a heavy max, and your technique will be different. You need to understand that. The technique training from a 3 to 5 rep heavy set, all out max set, will not be the same technique you use on a 1 rep max. You need to actually practice maxing if you want to get strong at it. Number 2, you're going to have to build muscle. Hypertrophy is the only secondary pathway that you have to building your chin up. Okay, you probably need to do some more volume work with the chin up. Okay, that doesn't mean we do some 5s. You might need to actually crank out, do a bunch of sets of 10. How do I increase some of my lifts? What do you see me doing? Maxes followed by hypertrophy work for volume. Okay? Works really well for some advanced guys. Maybe change some different strength curves. Maybe try some chin-ups with chains. Change the strength curve. Try them pulling against bands. Change the strength curve. Start assessing your weakest muscle on the chin-up. What is your weakest muscle on the chin-up? What hurts the most? Is it your lats? Is it your biceps? What's giving out? When you're doing that, whatever weight, 170 or 71 for 3 as a max, what muscle is stopping you from getting a 4th rep? What muscle hurts? What's giving out? Is it your biceps and you need to do some cheat curls or some other curls for them? Is it your lats? Might want to do some strict rows. Okay, you need to build up the muscles of the chin up. And you need to learn to handle heavier weight than what you're doing. And you're only going to do that by dropping down to some singles. Because that's your options. You can either learn to strain and increase intramuscular coordination by going heavier than a triple, and or you're going to have to get bigger. Your weakest muscles in the chin-up are going to have to grow. That's it. That's your only options. All right, next question. What's the best intermediate program if you're looking to train 3 times per week while still hitting all the big compounds? I've checked out Mark Rip's Texas method, but it seems to be geared towards a few different lifts like squats and press and deadlift. Would I do multiple A-B rotations? Thanks. I don't know that I would recommend late intermediates do 3 days a week. Meaning if you're training 3 days a week, only 3 days a week at that level instead of 4, like on an upper lower, you have a lifestyle reason interfering. You're competing in another sport. Maybe you're doing a ton of martial arts. You have an extremely hectic, busy lifestyle. Okay? Those would be the reasons, because it's not going to be optimal. You're doing it because you have something that's preventing you from recovering from the higher volumes of 4 days. I generally recommend that you go on a 4-day upper lower. Some sort of concurrent periodization, possibly even conjugate. Right? I have guys who are at your level based on that last post who do conjugate already. Not all of them. My client Mikey's pretty similar to where you are in strength, actually, who everyone knows about. He still runs a 4-day concurrent periodization upper lower. We don't put him on conjugate. I don't have him do singles. We don't max out. We don't do speed work. But that's what you may want to consider. I'll be honest, like if you're telling me that your lifestyle dictates only 3 days per week, then I would say possibly a 3-day conjugate program. Especially for someone who's got a goal like this extreme chin-up goal and stuff like that. You might want to run something like that when you have a very, very serious strength goal. Right? You could run the 4-day method spread into 3. You could do 2 max effort days and just do a full body for your rep work. But generally speaking, 3-day full body programs, the better ones that are out there are going to be Mad Cows or Texas Method for intermediates. They're both acceptable. They both work. It wouldn't be my first recommendation to only do 3 unless you have to, but those are totally viable. I would generally say a person who's where you are right now, I'd go on a 4-day program. I would put you on an upper lower 4 days a week. Irrespective of what sort of programming or progression you choose to use, that's what I would do. Like if I was coaching you, unless you had something in your lifestyle requiring otherwise. I do have 2 lifters who do 3-day a week conjugate training. Okay? But they have personal reasons for doing that. It's outside of the scope of just their training. Not doing it because it's optimal, it's because they have other considerations to factor in. All right, next question. How long would you say it takes for you to distinguish between neurological efficiency and muscle growth? For example, your example is extreme. A 250 kilograms times 5 on deadlifts, so you're already an elite lifter. And then pulling 255 times 5 the next week, 260 times 5 the next week, and so on a linear program or something. I've been getting back into training, and my lifts and accessories are all rocketing for weight, reps, and sets. I can tell I've grown through the body weight is consistent, but I'm wondering how much is efficiency versus growth. About 3 workouts is neuromuscular efficiency. About 3 workouts, unless you're a very advanced lifter, in which case any progression is probably some muscle growth. In the example you gave above, that's absolutely ludicrous. That person is growing. If, for example, a 250 times 5 kilograms, guys, 250 kilos. Okay, that's 552 pounds for 5 reps on a deadlift. If that was a limit set, and then the next week you added 5 kilos to that, you're on one hell of a drug stack. That's all muscle growth. Okay, you are blasting your brains out on gear, and you are stacking on muscle on a daily basis. That's what happened there. So, because put those numbers in perspective, guys. Basically, that's my max squat done for 5 reps on the deadlift, and that's ludicrous. I would struggle with that set personally as a 615 deadlifter. Generally speaking, the more advanced you get, The less of strength increases are neurological and the more of them are just pure muscle. Novice lifters are the ones who make neurological adaptations, or maybe an exercise that you haven't done that movement pattern if you're more advanced for a long time. The first workout, the strength increases will probably be neuromuscular. They'll be intramuscular coordination. Okay? There'll be intramuscular coordination. Anything after about the first workout is in which you increased. If it was still challenging, it was challenging sets and you're able to increase again, after that is usually going to be from hypertrophy. Okay? Advanced lifters only gain strength through hypertrophy for the most part, once they have technique and intramuscular coordination down. Novice lifters gain a much higher percentage of neurological efficiency as you're describing it. And it's always going to be there. Like, why do you need to know the percentage? It's irrelevant. If you are consistently progressing, you are gaining muscle. Your body weight isn't a consideration, because you're saying my body weight's consistent. Well, you stayed the same weight because you've stayed at maintenance calories. That means you've gained muscle and lost fat. Okay? But for you to say, hey, exactly how much, that's like asking how long a piece of string is. It's also heavily tied to training history. The longer you've been training, the smaller the percentage of any weight increase is neurological or intramuscular coordination, and the larger it is from hypertrophy. The less you've been training, the more it's skewed in the other direction. It's a sliding scale. And nobody in the face of the earth can give you an exact percentage. If they say, oh, it's exactly 32% neuromuscular and 68 hypertrophy, they're a bullshit liar. They have no way to measure or know that. They've made that number up. Just think of it as a sliding scale. And if you're getting stronger across the board on all your 5 rep and 8 rep or 10 rep sets and everything, you're gaining muscle. Okay, you're gaining muscle. Right? All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time in part 2.